Hello, everyone, and welcome back to more When the Night Comes. Yay! We are back! We are back once again for chapter 9 this time. I believe the title is called Red Right Hand or something like that. Anyways, last episode we left off on chapter 8, which took a turn for I guess to something because what involved what happened in chapter 8 was that we of course wake up with Finn and Ezra pretty much as happy as can be with the new development with our relationship status. We have a sort of like we've gone onto another level of like understanding and love and like all that good shit. So we have accepted that Finn and Ezra are important peoples in our lives and vice versa for them as well too, and that they mean everything to us. So we leave them for the day, except throughout the entire day of just going around to touch base with everybody else on all the other characters that we met. And we meet some new ones as well too. We met Raven and her girlfriend. Who is an enforcer. So you met, I forgot her name. I'm so bad with names. I'm so sorry. Again, I only know I know face, but I don't know name. So we went around the town again, touching face with everybody and basically telling them what it is that we've kind of like figured out from Harry and what he's been doing behind the scenes and all the shady stuff that the enforcers have been doing. So we break the news to, of course, people like Piper and people like August. And then we were asking around just to gather any more information, specifically from Omen and his sister. And then they were just basically telling us, like, advice on whether we should confront Harry about this or whether we should either we condemn him or we like sympathize with him. Basically those are the two polar opposites of what we can do in this situation. I was thoroughly halfway condemning him and then like 10% sort of sympathizing with him, only because I wanted to hear his half of the story. Like I wanted to know exactly why he did it, like what his reasoning is, or does he feel like guilty at all to resort to this? Like, was he cornered? Did he have no choice? Did he see no other option, kind of thing? So that's what I wanted to see from Harry. But anyways, from the end of it all, after talking with everybody and after saying our stance on it, we go to August's office. They are obviously distraught. They're like, I thought I knew this man, but I guess I didn't. So we got together to go confront Harry, but Harry came to us instead. So he came back from his little trip, and we were like, okay, so how do we do this? Do we just do this like a band-aid? And so we jumped right into it. We're like, I know what you've been doing. And Harry was like, I don't understand. I don't, what are you accusing me of? I hired you to investigate this town, and now you're accusing me of doing part of this shady shit. And of course, August gets upset because they're like, you're just lying. You're trying to just like play it off and play dumb. But we know what happened basically with how how enforcers were created, or no, how hunters were created. Sorry, how hunters were created. And Harry admits it. He's like, yes, I've been doing these experiments, but it is the only way because he sees it as an advancement in humanity kind of thing, where he's like, we have potentials to be better than these creatures, and I'm just simply, giving you that opportunity and that window to be able to, that possibility to do so, to like, exploit it kind of thing. And, he's like, it's great, and it's a fantastic, like, you are now the better version of yourself, basically, and we're just so upset. We're like disappointed in him. We're like, oh my god, he's gone off the deep end. Except we were also warned that Harry, of course, is a very powerful, very strong enforcer, general, captain. So it's not very like smart to provoke him either way, or to like hint that we're not on board with this at all, because he could probably snap and he could probably like take us out and not to dinner, and we would just be totally screwed if we don't kind of play it cool and play along with him, so that we can gather more evidence and or work out a plan to be able to take him down basically. So that's what's happening here. After Harry gives his little spiel, his little speech about how what he's done is a benefit for humanity. He doesn't care about the I guess the the ethics of it, yeah, the ethics of it. So he doesn't care about that he's using and he's framing and that he's experimenting on, you know, hunters and creatures alike. And so we, instead of, you know, outright condemning him, there's an option for that. We were like, no, we're gonna condemn him, but we're also going to, like, you know, trick him in a way where we're gonna deceive him into thinking that we're going along with it. So that's why we're saying you have my cooperation. We clued August in on it. We gave them a look just to say, like, oh, trust me on this, like, we don't want to piss this guy off kind of thing, so we need to play it safe. So they got the message. They're like, okay, fine. They resign and they're like, okay, let's go on it. And yeah, that's it. That's basically it. Let's go continue. So that's the end of chapter 8. Yay. So, and moving on to chapter 9, Red Right Hand. Yes, that's the name of the chapter. And wonder what's gonna happen here. Oh my god. Okay, so there's Harry spouting his crazy talk, so let's get started and see where this is gonna go. Hopefully we don't end up hurting the people that we care about because we're trying to play double agent here. So, do you realize what this could mean for you? How much more you could be? Or, like, you know, screw us over in terms of, like, yes, we are going along with this, but please don't experiment on me just because I said I'm willing. Then he makes an almost arrogant, greedy noise. In that moment, I see the Harry that I thought I knew, that August thought they knew, turn to ash. Yes, he wasn't the man that you used to know. Replaced by a man driven by mad frustration and now grief. Yeah, replaced by a man driven mad by frustration and greed. Yeah, and grief. Instead of asking, am I ready to take our enemies, you would think there is no stopping me. Yes, that's his little spiel. Deplorable, unforgivable. There you go. Oh yeah, oh wait, what was this? Oh yeah, this is weird. Okay, anyways, whatever. I said he needs to answer for his mistake. No, I said, and yeah, I understand. Wait, what? Wait a minute, this wasn't what? Wait, this wasn't my options. These weren't my options. I had the options before in the previous chapter 8 to say condemn his actions, but, you know, trick him kind of thing. But either way, I think we need to condemn him for his actions. This is unacceptable either way. So he needs to answer for his mistakes. When the initial rush of commingled horror and fury wanes, I clear my throat and address Harry with as much confidence as I can muster. Tell us what you did to them, how you did this, so we know how to undo you. Wait a minute, what is this? I remember this as long as it has been since we've last played chapter 8, but like I clearly remember this. Harry appraises me, clearly not impressed with the tone in which I give him, but he considers me regardless. He considers me regardless. You're curious to know how I made them better, how I can help even the odds. I am. Tell me how you made me better. Yeah. I try to feign interest, hoping to appeal to Harry's arrogance. He might have been driven to desperation, but I can see his tells he's proud of his idea. Okay, yeah, I was just talking about this, and we clearly saw this. I remember clearly reading this in chapter 8, where before it will lead up to the point where it's like, this is your final decision. Like, will you sympathize with him, like, 100%, or will you condemn him, but you need to, like, you know, trick him kind of thing. Okay, so I'm gonna skip out on these dialogues. I feel like, I swear we've read them before. So I will catch you guys up once the new stuff comes around. There you go, condemn him but lie to Harry. There you go. I don't understand why we had to, you know, go replay through, like, a certain dialogue, like certain section of dialogue from chapter 8 in chapter 9 here. Maybe it's just like a refresher, but either way, it's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, so we just said that we were going to condemn Harry, but we're going to lie to him, and we need to convey that to August here, and that's what we're doing. Yes, I understand. You have my cooperation. There we go. Moving on. There we go. Harry inclines his head, gesturing for me to follow him. Okay, here we go. I swallow thickly, unmoving, literally stuck to the spot beside August as I come to terms with what I'm about to do. They're falling apart, their magic aglow in messy fissures across their skin like cracks in porcelain. I want to tell them that I have to do this for the sake of Lunaris. To learn what he plans so that we can defeat him or whatever he has in store for us. Oh no, are we gonna take one for the team? Damn, okay, and yet I can't, so August looks at me as though I've just signed the town's death warrant. August. They shake their head, averting their gaze. Get out. Oh. Harry lets out a deep chuckle, his eyes crinkling at the corners in genuine amusement. Are you just acting? Are you playing the part? Yes. Always so dramatic. Come now, Hannah. We cannot waste time convincing someone as stubborn as Augustus. They'll come around eventually. I throw them one last lingering look, hoping that with every fiber of my being that August can see through the facade. That they can see I am still loyal to them, to the town. Yeah, I thought we shared a mutual understanding, August. I thought I gave you like a little look, like a little signal, like I got this, like I got something planned, just trust me. And that I would risk my own life to head into the lion's den with the lion himself guiding me gently by the hand. Okay, here we go. Where's he taking us? I hope not to get experimented on. The drip, drip, drip of water upon stone drowns out the rush of blood in my ears, and I follow the tall figure deeper into the darkness. Where are you taking me? His boots are heavy, steps echoing, and I can hear the gentle scratch of his claw-tipped gauntlet as he drags his fingers along the metal bars of the cells as we pass. Oh yeah, we didn't check up on what's her face. We found out, we've learned that from Fierro, the vampire that was locked in the cell before they bust him out, that the girl, Aya, she got experimented on, and before the whole commotion, she was shoved back into her cell, except she was like a completely changed like person basically. Like she was taking on more the appearance of like the monster that we were fighting. So enforcer guards line the walls and they stand to attention, eyes wide. I slowly begin to see why the enforcers had so dutifully followed his nefarious plan. They're terrified. Oh, so they're scared. Okay. We come to a halt outside of we come to a halt outside of the farthest cells that sits in the darker corner of the dungeon, and Harry stands before it proudly, an almost loving gaze shining in his eyes. Oh no, is it Aya's cell? Take a look, Hannah. Uh-oh. He gestures for me to step closer, his voice warm and inviting, and I swallow away the fear that claws up my throat, threatening to choke me. I nod, stealing my gaze, and I step forward to peek between the bars. Ooh, okay, so I see a mask looming in the almost darkness. It's her misshapen form, unidentifiable as neither human nor creature. With a quiet whimper, she opens her eyes. Isn't she beautiful? Ugh. Harry hums a satisfied noise. My proudest creation yet. She's truly a work of art, don't you agree? You and I have very two different opinions on what is considered beautiful and aesthetically pleasing. So we're just gonna have to go along. Again, we're in balls deep now, so we're just gonna have to go through this. So she's perfect. We gotta lie to him. I clear my throat, and though I feel horror from seeing her, I also feel drawn to her. There's a strange, almost undeniable connection throbbing between us, and it's as though I can feel the lingering threads of her humanity of the hunter within her. Strangely, it sings to me like a prayer, and I find myself having to pay mind to the fact that I am here to lie to gather information. It still leaves me feeling sick. Okay, so there's something about seeing her, that makes my blood turn cold in my veins. She's perfect. Yes. Not quite, but close. What do you mean? Harry sighs and Aya lunges forward, sharpened teeth snapping. He remains unaffected despite her violent display, and he simply inclines his head towards her, watching her with an unabashed fondness. She was an unwilling subject, and I think that may be why that may be where I've been going wrong. Uh-oh, no, don't look at me. Don't look at me. To succeed fully, to achieve what I've always longed to, I believe the hunter in question must be prepared to undergo the transformation. Willing even. Oh no, not me. I look back towards the cell, and Aya has once again retreated into the darkness, no longer visible other than a pair of glowing crimson eyes. Is this what you're asking of me? Harry pauses, carefully considering his response. Why do you think I called you here? I asked for the best, and they sent me you. Huh. At first I thought they were toying with me, this hunter who befriends those who make a point of defying me, defying us. The curious witch, the vampire who so desperately longs to be human, the disgraced hunter, the branded lichen, and the demon that so graciously weakened the barrier between realms without even realizing. And then there's Augustus. He smiles, something sad, his lashes dipping. I did hope they would see reason, but something seems to have made them less helpless, less easily swayed. Oh my god, so he was almost like groom Augustus into being willing to do this experiment, and that way he would somehow see success in it. Okay, so that's kind of fucked up. Okay, that was before August, of course, decides to he decides to see like reason and see and question things around him. Regardless, come, I have much to do. I cast Aya a final fleeting glance, and I steal my gaze as I follow Harry out of the dungeons. Please don't. My heart hammers loudly as we approach Augus's office, but the lack of light streaming from beneath the door tells me that we'll find it empty. Harry tuts when my suspicions are confirmed, and he looks to me with a sad smile when we step inside. Am I promoted? Am I promoted? I did hope they'd still be here. Maybe you would have been able to convince them to help. I offer him a clipped smile, trying my hardest to seem complacent. Now, the terms of our agreement... He flexes the fingers of his gauntlet, the steel creaking quietly. Aya is increasingly volatile, and I loathe to admit that I can't control her any longer. So, I want to waste no time. We'll start on your first dose right away. Oh no! No. Then he reaches into his coat and produces a vial. It feels eerily familiar, and the sight of dark, viscous liquid encased in delicate glass makes me feel sick. Because that's how hunters are made in the first place. But now he's going to, dose us with 10 times more of it. He holds it high, gazing at it, shamelessly proud of his nefarious creation. I'd give anything to be able to take it. I suspect I'd withstand it quite beautifully. Then why don't you? Oh, forgot. August asked the same thing, and Harry was like, he gave off the answer that he needs to be the one with the straight head to do these things, to see it through kind of thing. So the moonlight that shines through the window hits the glass, the liquid more black than the red I remember from my dream, and my stomach churns. But we can't all have what we wish for, can we? Instead, we'll do it together. What? He tucks the vial back into his pocket, patting the heavy fabric. Oh, shit. Oof. Now, I suppose you better go home and get some well-deserved rest. You'll need your strength. We'll begin tomorrow. My stomach churns, but I nod curtly. Yes, Lieutenant General. He laughs, stepping forward to rest his hand upon my shoulder and fixing me with a gaze that, though earnest, sends a chill rolling down my spine. You know to call me Harry. Okay, I need someone to talk to now. I contemplate my next move. I could drag myself back to my room at the Wolf and drown in misery alone, I suppose. They say hunters sleep with one eye open, but enforcers sleep with two, and you don't get as far as Harry without paying full attention. There's no use hating him, not now. I've seen what I need it to in order to make my choice. And yet it still hurts, and a strategic part of me loathes the fact that I'd lied. That I'd gone with him down there, witnessed the true horror of his crimes. Well, though I have some explaining to do, I know it will be worth it, right? I mean, I had to take one for the team, man. That's the only way I was gonna get something. Especially now as I think about Aya and Piper and August. An enforcer passes me, sparing me a glance before they quickly avert their gaze, their head down. They scurry away from me quickly, and I almost smile, fascinated at how fast gossip apparently travels in our dear agency. With a heavy sigh, I decided that the best thing to do will be to sleep off this evening and to face the wrath of my friends in the morning. But guys, I'm still loyal to you. A headache is starting to develop behind my eyes by the time I open the door to the tavern and step inside. Despite the hour, there's hardly anyone in here, and my eyes are immediately drawn to a pair of hunched figures in that familiar enforcer black and gold in the corner. Oh. Yeah, so we got some enforcers in there. The attention isn't reciprocated, and they stay where they are, muttering amongst themselves. Just some colleagues enjoying some cheap booze after work, nothing more. There's no reason to believe Harry would spy on me so openly, right? I mean, at this point, I would be cautious. Maybe not, but surely he'll at the very least keep an eye on me, right? Then something pulls me from my thoughts, a familiar chill, a prickling awareness, intertwined with another warm aura. Is it my bays? But there's an edge, like something isn't quite right, a feeling of uncertainty that sets my stomach churning. Finn is near, Ezra too. I search the room for them, and I spot them watching me from a quiet corner, a bottle of whiskey cradled in Finn's iron palm, Ezra pressed tightly against his side. Ezra looks impossibly sad, and Finn just looks angry. Oh! I take a deep breath, and my heart hammers as I approach them and take a seat. Guys, I imagine our surprise when August Willenheim shows up at my door in the middle of the evening in such a state that they can barely speak. I swallow thickly, willing away the lump that forms in my throat. Finn's attention is solely fixed upon the half-empty bottle, his fingers gently tracing the etchings in the glass. His other hand is resting atop the table, holding Ezra's, their fingers lazily entwined. They told us you went with him. Is that true? No! What are you talking about? I'm offended that you think I would do such a thing. He doesn't give me a chance to respond, his demeanor far colder than Ezra's is. We couldn't help but wonder if we'd ever see you again. The tone of his voice makes me shift uncomfortably, and I can sense the creature that Finn once was lurking beneath the surface. I feel it far more now, in this moment of pain, than I did when we fought Azazel. I look to Ezra, but he drops his gaze. Then I reach out, taking the bottle and carefully prying it from Finn's fingers, and his dark eyes finally meet mine. Just let me explain, please, right? Like, stop. His eyes flick to the side, surveying our surroundings, and when he next speaks, his voice is quiet and commanding. Not here. Yes, exactly. I wouldn't talk here either. I see the two enforcers that only moments ago I had disregarded as innocent, and yet now they watch us with a burning curiosity, talking quietly amongst themselves. Yeah, talking quietly between themselves. Yeah, see. I nod, standing, and I walk out into the darkness with Finn and Ezra not too far behind me. I mean, this in itself is pretty suspicious because, Harry has openly spoken to how he dislikes our group of friends, quote quote. So, I mean, we could always lie to him and be like, we're just breaking off ties. I don't know. The walk was quiet, Finn keeping his distance, sticking to the shadows, Ezra standing firm by his side. Okay. The second the door to Finn's quarters closed, the vampire steps close, staring me down. Oh. Don't try and explain your actions with smooth words. I'm not. I watched Levi justify his terror for centuries. I will not stand for you to do it too. The way he's looking at me, the way both of them are, I need them to know. I swear to you, I didn't do anything stupid. I would never pledge myself to him. Ezra rests his palm against the base of Finn's spine, a grounding touch, and he relaxes. You can tell I'm not lying, can't you? My pulse is racing, but not out of guilt, out of fear that I could lose them because of this. Please, my dude. Then Finn reaches for me, curling his fingers around my wrist and gently tugging me towards his bed. He urges me to sit, and I gratefully oblige, Ezra settling beside me. Finn pries a wooden box from one of his many bookshelves and kneels before us, placing it upon my lap. I run my fingers over the curling vines that are lovingly carved into the lid, and Finn nods when I seek permission to unlatch the lock. What is this? Inside is a trove of trinkets, sketches, letters. I pull out one of the charcoal drawings, recognizes it as one of Finn's immediately, the style the same as the paintings that adorn Ezra's kitchen wall. It's a portrait of a boy, happy, smiling. He's beautiful. Yeah, who is he? Finn smiles, taking it from me and running his fingers over the parchment. Gabriel, the very first thing Levi stole from me. Oh, is your fiance? Yeah. I keep these things because sometimes I need a reminder of why I want to be good. It's easy when you're a creature like me to push down the baser urges and instincts that are ingrained in us. To hunt, to kill without question or hesitation, to take the nefarious route when it comes to dealing with those who have wronged you. He meets his gaze, his eyes bright in the candlelight. To have the power we have and to have the solution to all of our problems laid out before us like a neatly wrapped present. All it would take would be one tug of the string and it would all be set right, wouldn't it? What do you mean? I process his words carefully. To have truly joined Harry, to gain strength and power, to fix the world would have been so easy. And yet it wouldn't be the human thing to do. I felt sick being down there with him, seeing the things he's done. He's lost his mind. He wants me to join him to become one of those things, like creating more monsters is a solution to saving humanity. Finn quietly replaces the drawing back in the box, closing the lid and resting his palms atop it. Yeah, though it may not feel like you did the right thing while your mind tries to find a new solution, you did. Those with blood on their hands always get what they deserve. They do? I mean, he smiles, nodding gently, and that coupled with Ezra taking my hand, the feel of his warm skin against my own, makes me sigh a breath of relief. Finn puts the box away and returns to his knees before me, unlacing my boots, sliding them off. Oh, what are we doing? Will you stay with us? Yes, I don't have anything to sleep in. Finn casts me a look, and I feel heat spreading across my cheeks. I'm sure I can find something for you to borrow. I see an opportunity to tease him, and so I eagerly take it. Something that buttons all the way up? I point to his chest. His brows shoot high and he feigns offense. She got you right there, Finnegan. She got you there, Finnegan. Finn's brows shoot high and he feigns offense. Oh, okay. That was a weird repeat. You've come to the wrong place if decency is what you're after, fair hunter. Oh, I laugh and he moves to join us upon the bed, tugging back the sheets so that we can all climb beneath them. Oh, and he takes off his shirt. Yes. Finn removes his shirt, passing it to Ezra, and the witch helps me slide into it. I relish the familiar smell of Finn as the soft fabric drapes across my skin, and Ezra winds his arms around my waist, resting his chin upon my shoulders. It looks better on you. Stop. And you look better without it. Yes. Finn laughs, his nose crinkling in that way that makes my heart flutter, and he lays back, resting his head against the pillow, gazing up at us. Okay. As Ezra's arms tighten around me, the bruises that I've tried to bury deep throb inside and out. Harry's face as he gazes upon his creation, his blithe conviction that this is somehow the right path, the niggling, obedient, insidious doubt in me that whispers that perhaps he's right. Perhaps prices must be paid for our safety. He's a lieutenant general and I'm only a hunter. Only a soldier. Nothing has been done yet, and I still feel almost sick to my stomach. But the worry is more muted now, further away. Tomorrow I will figure it out. We'll all figure it out together. Yeah, hey, are you okay? Well, Finn's words tug at me, pulling me from my daze, and I see him nestled beneath those dark sheets, pale skin and pretty eyes, so tempting in this dreamy golden light. That, coupled with the weight of Ezra's arms around me, makes me pause, letting any insidious thoughts flicker and fade. No, kiss them, rest. Kiss them! I'ma kiss them because I can. Yes, kiss them. Without hesitation, I tug at Ezra and we curl against Finn. Each of us rest our head against his chest, bracketing him in his broad body. The cool bit of his prosthetic against my skin doesn't even bother me anymore, now seen as a comfort. Finn presses his lips to our temples, and I tip my chin in invitation, seeking more, needing more. A pause, an almost hungry look exchange, and then our lips meet. Their kisses placate me, sending my heart to its knees, and when Ezra sinks his fingers into my hair, I'm lost. Feeling the careful weight of them against me grounds me, and I curl my arms around them, my hands splayed against shifting shoulder blades. They both do so well at making me feel nothing other than wanted and loved. And so, when the candles burn out and we're left with only the darkness and each other, I let myself forget. Okay. Next day, I visit August first thing, and when they open their door and invite me inside, I'm met with silence. August, I thought we had a mutual agreement. I had to check that I was deceiving him. That I would never do such a thing. August's fingers twitch, but they slowly offer me a clipped smile. I know, that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to witness. Oh, yeah, you've become very dear to me, Hannah. Seeing you walk out of that door with him, not knowing what he would do or where he would take you. Yeah, that was actually pretty risky on our part. I was gonna say. It hurt. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I would never betray your trust. It was the right thing to do. I would never betray your trust, okay? Never. It kills me to see that I've hurt them, but to hear that they do trust me soothes me. I would never betray your trust, not after all we've been through together. Right. The smile that blooms across their lips is bright and earnest. I'm grateful for your friendship, Hannah, and I trust you implicitly. We will see this through together, and I'll have your back always. Oh, yay! They take a deep breath, exhaling slowly, and the tension that was present melts from their shoulders. Now tell me, what did you see? Oh, some fucked up shit. Let me tell you that. He has Aya in a cell. She's gone. There's not even a glimmer of her human form left. I see. He means for me to take the potion he's concocted, and he said that he believes me to be worthy. If someone is willing, then he's convinced that the potion will work differently. August scoffs, rolling their eyes, and their sadness seems to have turned into exasperation. His pride will be the death of us all, won't it? We'll need to gather everyone and come up with some kind of plan, and quickly. I nod, yeah, right away. 'Cause he expects me to do this shit tonight. That afternoon, we meet in the catacombs, aware that it's probably the only location in town at this point where Harry cannot have watched us. Okay, guys, people. There's a growing awkward silence between us, August frowning down at their feet with sudden intense concentration. I almost laugh at the sight of this mismatched group huddled in Finn's quarters, and Finn's eyes are firmly fixed upon Piper, who unabashedly pokes and prods his belongings. She picks up what I assume to be a very real human skull, staring deep into its vacant eye sockets, smirking smugly at our undead companion. This what you used to be This what you used to practice your flirting every night? Finn grins, shrugging with a cocky kind of nonchalance. I don't need to practice. Oh, okay. Piper scoffs, placing it back upon the shelf. Sure. Finn winks at me and I hear August groan loudly. Right, can we please get on with this? I can already feel my skin cursing me for spending so much time down in this damp pit. He's like, my skin! My skin is not agreeing. Then they all pointedly look at me and I realize that the floor is mine. Right, yes. Omen and Alker are patrolling the woods, making sure that we know where the best spot to meet Harry will be. Ezra raises his hand and August rolls their eyes at his politeness. How are we going to get him to come find you, and how do you know he'll have Aya with him? Piper's gaze drops to the floor at the mention of her friend's name. Yeah, of her friend's name. He'll come. He means to give me his concoction and have me drink it. I'll figure that part out when I get to it, I suppose. We're improvising. I'm guessing we don't need to advise you that drinking it would be a terrible idea, no? Yeah, your acting doesn't need to be that good. Yes, General. Then Piper clears her throat. I need to be the one to stop Aya. Everyone looks at her, gaze sympathetic. She was my friend, and I might not be able to save her, but I can make sure it's as quick as possible. August wraps an arm around her shoulder and pulls her close, the embrace quick but meaningful. We understand, whatever you need. And what of us? What do you need us to do? Before I can respond, August steps forward. Oh, have our backs if necessary. Other than that, just stay hidden. The last thing we need is to rile him up further by flaunting our alliance with the very creatures he longs to eliminate. Especially once he realizes that Hana has deceived him. We can't imagine how he will react, but it won't be well. Right. Finn and Ezra both cast me a worried glance, and I long to reach out to them to tell them that I'll be fine. Instead, I simply hope that I can convey it with a small smile that I offer them, encouraging nothing if not warm. So, I'm using myself as bait, essentially. Yep. Fun. He'll pay for what he's done. Yes. Then all we need to do is wait. Finn scoffs, crossing his arms over his broad chest. Remember what I said about him, Hana. He is strong, clever. Don't let the fact that he's human give you pause. You don't need to hold back. If I've learned anything about Harry in the years I've known him, it's that he never backs down when he has his sights set on something. August sighs, worrying their bottom lip between their teeth. Yes, Finnegan is right, and he doesn't give a damn about the cost of his actions anymore either. Clearly, yes. That thought has my skin prickling with heat, my hair standing on end. He truly will stop at nothing. James's death proved that to all of us. We'll end this, okay, once and for all. I don't know. It's gonna get messy. It's dusk in Lunaris. My feet are sore, my eyes tired, and all I can think about is how much I can't wait for all of this to be over. In school, they trained us to kill monsters, and the irony of my current predicament does not escape me. Despite countless hours of training and study, nothing could ever have prepared me to fight my greatest enemy yet, the Lieutenant General of Escria. Harry is the true culprit, and it's still hard to grasp that he's the one responsible for the gruesome murders that brought me here. As I sink further into the town, the feeling of dread that's been a constant in the pit of my stomach since I arrived strangely seems to dissipate. I wander with purpose through the narrow streets, hyper-focused on the task in hand. I'm ready to ensure that this place that I've come to call my home is once again safe and in hands of those that truly care for it. The only thing that distracts me from such thoughts is the way the sky begins to turn from purple to an inky infinite black. I turn a corner and am met with the familiar sight of people moving to get inside as darkness overtakes the town. The sound of doors slamming and locking echoes off the crooked stonework. Curtains are drawn, windows closed, and then darkness. Yes, although the stars are shining brightly at a glance, the crescent moon hangs low, neither offered much light. I think back to the first night I arrived, and how much my life has changed since. Oh yeah, this does seem like the first time we came here. It's almost like it played out the exact same way. A lump forms in my throat as I realize that I've been gifted with what I haven't known since childhood, a home, a family to call my own. So many things have been taken from me, and from all of us. I straighten my shoulders, taking a deep breath. No more. Then I think about Finn and Ezra, the two men who are inexplicably good despite the sadness they've each experienced in their lives, who both love me openly, irrevocably, and without question. I cannot bear the thought of anything taking them from me, or I from them. Determination licks through my bones, and I pick up my pace, boots heavy and loud against the cobblestones. The instincts that have been ingrained in me since my initiation into the order kick in, and I know that I will win this fight. After all, I haven't lost one yet. Well, there's always a first for everything. I'm just saying, like, not that I'm being a pessimist, but still, it's Harry that we're facing. I can feel eyes upon me, watching, waiting. Though they are kind eyes, the watchful gaze of my friends and allies tucked safely away in the thick forest. No matter how much I insisted I'd be fine alone, the stubborn bastards wouldn't take no for an answer. So I stand and wait, and I wait. I think back to my brief moment with James, and all I can hope is that I make him proud tonight. Then footsteps, a rhythmic crunch, crunch, crunch. Hello, Harry. And there he stands, bathed in darkness, his sharp gauntlet resting proudly atop the pommel of his sword. He smiles. Are you ready? I step closer to him, toe to toe, and I eye his jacket, knowing that the vial rests inside. I am. He makes a show of it, his smile smug, like a proud parent as he retrieves it. He holds it high, and my stomach churns again at the sight of it, knowing that this is the thing that murdered my colleagues. That, by proxy, murdered James. Harry sighs, gazing at me fondly as he takes my hand in his own, laying the delicate glass in my palm and closing my fingers around it. A toast to new beginnings. Oh no. He steps away, his hand once again coming to rest upon his sword, and he watches me carefully as I pry the cork free. And I pour the contents onto the ground. Yes, I was gonna say, I was gonna say I would've, like, expected me to smash it, or to, like, just, like, pour it out. No. Yeah, there you go. I'm here to end this. Stay silent, let him react. Stay silent, let him react. Let's stay silent, let him react. Like, we need to play it cool. Like, we can't attack him right away, because he's... I don't know. We can't... This seems... If we go right away into it, he'll almost expect it from our actions, right? So we need to play it out to get him to let his guard down at least a little. Stay silent, let him react. I'm here to end this. Okay, let's do that. I clench my jaw, willing myself to remain calm. You waste such an opportunity. You waste such an opportunity. The power that I offered is one of great esteem, something people would have envied you for, idolized. To become a monster? He smiles and he presses a palm to his chest. I swear that no night will be traversed in fear, that morning will be a promise and not a hope. I swear I shall lay down my life in the cause of my duty to protect the vulnerable from the creatures of this realm and any beyond it. Until my final breath, I pledge myself to you, body, mind, and soul. The pledge, the oath that we take before consuming the poison that they fed us. The words sound so empty to me now that I know what's become of this order. Did you take that oath, Harry? He drops his hand back to his weapon and he laughs. You know I didn't, for I'm no hunter. I was never worthy, but I have loved a hunter, and I've seen the things they must endure. Oh, right. He wasn't worthy. He tried to take... I totally forgot that detail. I think it was mentioned by James or by August. I don't know, someone from the hunter/enforcer people, that he tried, like, in his history with James, or even Ezra, in his history with James or meeting James, he tried to... They were in the same academy to become a hunter, but when it came down to the initiation, Harry failed and James succeeded. That was what happened, right? I think so, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, you know I didn't, for I am no hunter. I was never worthy, but I have loved a hunter, and I've seen the things they must endure. Oh, so maybe that's why, in part, it's kind of fueling him, too, to, like, do this. I almost want to scoff at him, to laugh in the face of his supposed understanding. He may have loved a hunter, but he killed him, too. He surveys me for a second, eyes narrowed, and then he inclines his head. So you come to, what, kill me? Arrest me? Killing me would be against your code, wouldn't it? Or are you going to get your vampire to do it for you? Or maybe the witch? I freeze at the mention of Finn and Ezra, fingers tight around my weapon, my knuckles bleeding white. Harry notices and he's pleased with himself. Might not be such a smart move. I killed Finnegan's sire, after all, and Levi was far stronger than him. And your witch? He wouldn't hurt a fly. He pouts at me, feigning innocent when he sees the sour look I can't help but offer him. We did just fine killing your monster. He clenches his jaw. I have things to do. Let's just get this over with, shall we? Final chance, Hana. You can still join me. There's more where that came from. I don't need to hesitate in my response. Never. Calmly he smiles, flexing his gauntlet. Let's do this. A wounded noise rings out around us, something broken and terrible enough to make me want to cover my ears. Such a shame. You would have been magnificent. Yeah, here it goes. The sound his sword makes as he draws it from his sheath is cutting, and the impressive weapon glows to life, and emanating a bright golden light. Mental reminder to ask August if they knew about that little surprise. Right, why does his sword glow? He's faster than I expected, and now I finally get to see the infamous prowess of Harold Addington III up close. Oh shit. I parry his heavy blows with relative ease, trained to anticipate every move things far more cunning than him might make. There you go. I wonder if he's underestimated me, like all enforcers do of their hunters. Then, out of the corner of my eyes, I see her. Oh, yes, Aya. Branches twist and snap against the weight of her misshapen frame as she pushes through the brush, her maw wide and vicious, teeth snapping as she struggles forward. Oh god, Harry could catch me off guard, could see my momentary distraction as the perfect opportunity to strike me down, but he stopped, staring me down with wild eyes. Look at what you could have become. I tried to remain unaffected, but confusion and anger twist in my gut. I am no monster. Harry narrows his eyes at me, fingers tight around the hilt of his sword. I beg to differ. Well, I beg to differ too, because I think you're the monster. With that, he lunges forward and we begin our dance once again. I'm fighting a man I do not want to kill, no matter the crimes he's committed, for I am not the monster he wants me to become. I need to subdue him and fast, because in my peripheral I can see Aya lurking, and I know that Harry doesn't have any semblance of control over her. She could turn on either of us at any moment. Well, hopefully it's on Harry. Then, when Aya does set her crimson eyes upon Harry and I see daggers glint in the moonlight. Piper's daggers. Oh, she tears from the forest with a battle cry, heading straight for the misshapen creature. She meets each of her lazy attacks with unbidden power, and I try not to let myself become distracted by them, knowing Piper can handle it. Aya isn't one of us, not anymore. The hunter and human within her long dead. All that remains is a husk, all thanks to the man who stands so boldly before me. So you did bring your friends? Yeah, I knew you wouldn't face me alone. I scoff, wiping sweat from my brow with the back of my hand. I see now that you long for us to fight alone because you want us to be disposable and forgettable. You called me here to turn me into a monster, but instead I made Lunaris my home. That must really piss you off. With clenched teeth and a growl, Harry's carefully crafted composure withers and dies as he hurls forward. Good, yes, provoke him into anger, but hopefully in a way where he's like losing control and like poise. He lunges, the tip of his blade pointed toward my chest, and I shift to parry his attack. Within that second, however, his body pivots and I see the aim in his misdirection. Quick thinking on his part, but I must be quicker. Oh, sharp steel hums at the clash of my weapon against his own, and I can feel the oppressive weight of his desperation trying to bow me down. As soon as I force him back, he strikes me again. His attack seems to be without pattern, like a random unguided flurry, but in those eyes I see a man with deadly calculation. Each blow given means to take a tendon, a weak point, a place not always vital, but just enough to keep me from fighting back. Oh, so he's trying to wear me down. Harry believes us all to be lesser, and therein lies his hubris, his weakness. Yeah, his hubris. I can see his confidence soar with every blow that barely finds its intended spot, and he seeks to overwhelm me. I'll continue to enjoy letting him think he can. I cast Piper a glance when I can. The cacophony of battle all around us numbs my ears, and I can still hear her, see her, and feel the thrum of angry adrenaline coursing through her. It's not unlike my own, and like her, I trust my instincts to guide me. Purposefully, I let my stride waver, become almost haggard, fearful even. I adopt a stance that tries to let the predator think he's weakening his prey, and Harry catches the bait like a moth to a flame. Yes! He smirks, another blow. Ow. Come now, Hunter. You made for such a good show before. Don't falter now. Well, I am still making it for a good show. Is that what you think? I thought you better than this. How disappointing. Yes, I force him back again, and though I make him believe that he has the upper hand, Harry is a force to be reckoned with. He mimics the same attempt he made at the beginning, sword to chest, but this time with intent. He doesn't change his direction, and there's renewed force behind it. The blow rattles my bones when the attack connects with my weapon, and his sword reverberates with the magic enchanted into its steel, Harry using the pressure to force me down. His concentration, all pitted against my weapon-wielding side, allows me an opening. Though Harry may be strong, he doesn't account for me being able to hold him back with one arm. My free hand reaches for my concealed dagger, the one given to us by the Academy during initiation, and I seek to implant it in his side. To my surprise, Harry releases one hand from the hilt of his sword, stopping the dagger before it can meet a vulnerable point between his ribs. Oh, so you can do this too! He grimaces in pain when the dagger's edge slides against his palm, deep crimson slick on silver, and yet he still grips it with fervor. His body trembles, but he grins at me despite it all. Close. Stars flicker behind my eyes when Harry headbutts me. A sickening crack, and I stumble away from him, struggling to regain my footing in the dizzying haze. I barely have time to register his next attack, and the downward swing of his sword knocks my weapon from my hand. He connects a quick kick to my sternum, and I fall to the dirt. I see the man I'm supposed to call my leader giving himself a moment to relish his triumph. He observes the dagger that bloodied his hand and huffs a tired laugh. It would have been ironic if I was the one to give this to you. He discards it with a shrug and walks towards me at death knell. Yeah. He truly means to kill me. Yes, I suppose this will have to do. With renewed confidence, he swings his sword with a flourish, a fluid movement that shows his weapon is just another part of him, and now it rushes for me. I breathe deep and try to regain lucidity, but it won't be enough. Just as his blade is about to meet me, it's repelled with a brilliant flash. Yay, August! That haze, the smell, and that aura fills my senses, and I know exactly who it is. Augustus. Yeah. Hello. Harry strides backwards as August stalks forward, cracks of magic snapping at him with palpable intensity. He forces back the attacks with the enhancements upon his blade, but it cannot stop the overbearing force that shocks his body each time they will their power upon him. I watch August gracefully turn their palm into fury, magic licking across their skin as they weave spell after powerful spell to combat each of this would-be blows while I regain my footing. Their body shakes with lingering static as they finally relax, eyes aglow in the darkness. Harry spits blood, finally faltering to the onslaught, and his body gives away, falling to his knees. August then appears at my side, frantically scanning me for any injuries, but I wave them off, adrenaline still coursing violently through my veins. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm just being battered. Yeah, you're sure? Yes. I nod, turning my attention to Harry. Alright. It's a pretty sword you got. He kneels in the dirt, his dusty black coat pooling around him, his right hand red with blood. His breathing is labored, but I know we didn't harm him enough for there to be an immediate threat to his life. I glance over at the heap of blood and bones that was once our fellow hunter. Piper kneels beside her, and Ezra holds her tightly as Finn watches in silent support. I see Omen and Alker emerge from the forest, and in the tree line a litany of glowing red eyes, the clan. The pain and suffering in this clearing alone is enough to make me furious, enough to warrant this man's death, and yet... He looks up at me with those piercing blue eyes. Just do it. August rests their hand upon my arm, but I don't want to meet their gaze, afraid of what I might find. Hana. I stare down at him, at my lieutenant general, and I remember the taste of it. The vile cold in my palm, a gentle, encouraging smile from the enforcer who handed it to me, a child so eager to please and feel loved by after being taken from their family. Magic and the blood of other, foreign things coursing through my body, seeping and sinking deep into my bones like an incurable infection. I said my vows and took my oath, and I became theirs. I have been faithful to their cause, all of us have, and this is where it ends. This is where I break it. Yes. End of chapter 9! Wow, of course, yes. So for those of you who were expecting the end or something like that, or some final conclusion with chapter 9 after, what happened in chapter 8, actually there is one more chapter left. It's chapter 10. I'm so super excited for that. We're so close. We're so close. We've come so far with this story, and it's been an amazing journey so far. Oh my god, chapter 9. Hopefully, I don't know, man, I feel like definitely if we went gung-ho all the way in terms of I guess condemning Harry, I feel like we would have killed him. I feel like at some point up until that conclusion, we would have like definitely wouldn't hesitate to like swing down our sword. So there, I guess we chose, the more neutral sort of like end, like conclusion to this fight, of just like, you know, leaving Harry alive so that he can face his consequences then. I mean, like, maybe there's a high order. I guess so, yeah, it makes sense because he's only Lieutenant General of Escria. Well, I was gonna say he's only the 10th general to this town of Lunaris, but he's also like the high order to Escria. Maybe there's another. Is there like a capital city that I'm not aware of that, like, you know, it's kind of like the government that answers to, you know, like, he's not the most, like, you know, I'm just saying that he's not the most powerful man, like, he is not the law, so therefore he can still face the consequences of his actions here, maybe. Anyways, regardless, thank you guys so much for joining me in on this chapter 9 of When the Night Comes. Can't wait to anticipate for chapter 10. That is going to be the final episode or actually no, not final episode, but the final chapter for this game. In terms of course, in this Let's Play series, I'm obviously going to go back and I'm going to replay all the routes, all the possible routes for this game before concluding this Let's Play as a whole. So don't be too sad to know that the next episode is the final chapter, because this game, I'm far from done with this game. Like, trust me. So anyways, tune in next time, you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in my other Let's Play, but for now, bye!